So here's some tips for someone who is new to BR1. Once you're in the game here, first thing you're probably going to want to look at is your inventory. So you're going to go into your inventory. Obviously, most likely nothing's going to be there, especially if you haven't like connected a wallet and done all that jazz, but we'll cover that in another video. For now, let's say, you got access, you downloaded, and you're in your inventory. You have, your one operative here that you can select, your one rusty droid. Don't have access to any apes or anything yet. So you got your droid, cool. You go to your loadout. This is your default loadout right here. Not terrible, but this is what you're probably going to want. If you're only level 1, then you're missing out on a lot of good weapons here. The pit bull, especially once you reach level 5, is going to be one thing you're going to want to add to your inventory. So definitely keep in mind, once you hit level 5, add this to your inventory. Crossbow, shotgun, not that great. This right here, the scar, definitely another one you want to add to your inventory at level 20. And then the marksman, this is more so like personal preference. It sounds a little different, but damage is basically the same as the other version of the sniper, so not super important. Same with the juggernaut here. These two are not as important. The two main spikes you're gonna need are like this one and the very first one. Get to level 5 as fast as you can. And then from there, all right, the main ones you're gonna want, very first slot, almost always gonna be your AK or the scar. Once you unlock it, I would go with this one once you have it unlocked at level 20. And then for the second one, sniper's usually my go-to as well. And like I said, it doesn't make a big difference which one you use. You can unlock this one eventually, but for now, this one's fine. The third one, the third slot, this is kind of personal preference, but you're probably going to want either the rocket or the pistol. So like I said, when you have this one unlocked, you're definitely going to want to put this bad boy in there. That's usually the one I go with. So once you get to level 5, use that. Before level 5, I would just use the rocket. So before level 5, use the rocket. I usually then put the shield potion in my 4th slot. And again, this will come down to personal preference as far as like where you want these on your hotbar. But these are the 4 items that you're like absolutely going to need. If you're just going to use AR and then when they get low, use the RPG, that works too. But for me, I found what works really well is hitting one shot with a sniper and then switching to the AR to finish them. And then like if you get them really low and you start to reload your AR, just switch to the rocket and get them with a rocket. Yeah, and then like I said, you gotta have your shield potions to run away and try to heal up. Grenades are pretty good. Again, comes down to personal preference. I think I usually use this setup right here, especially like starting out. This is probably what I would have. Bottom row, you can get a little bit more creative. I don't think the bow is really worth bringing in. Having at least one melee weapon is definitely worth it. You want to have at least one, so you might put a sword in there. Shotgun's not a bad idea to have an additional gun, but ideally you could even go just the sword and then do the rest like actual grenades. Use the smoke grenades or the flash grenades to basically blind people, and then you can equip your melee weapon, and inside the game, if you press tab while you're holding a melee button, it'll lock on to your targets or lock on to other players. So if you're running around in the dark and they can't see you or in the smoke, you can use that to basically auto lock onto them, and then you can try to attack them in the smoke. Another good option there. So those are a few kind of tips for a new player as far as your loadout is concerned and different tactics you can use in game.